Cool. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm standing between you and pizza, so I'm gonna keep it short. But usually I'm not nervous, but today I'm not nervous. I'm excited because last year I was here, and I remember Unbody, a small startup we started last year. It was very small, and it is still small, but in terms of impact, we have grown much more. And today they have a very big announcement to make and to share with you guys, so I'm really happy to do that back in AI Thinkers community. I'm one of the co-founders at Unbody. At Unbody, we are building basically the next Base of AI era. If you don't know, Base doesn't matter. But in a nutshell, when we talk about AI, we look at the AI a lot from AI point of view, not from the product point of view. I'm talking on behalf of front-end developers, back-end developers, people who are making products. And when we are working with tooling around AI, we are building AI features. We are building a RAG, we are building a semantic search, we are building a vector, etc., etc. But when it comes to product, we forget that it takes a whole stack. On the other hand, the software nowadays that we are seeing the shift happening, the softwares are changing, and we expect them to be more human. We want to talk to them, we want them to act, we want them to reason. But legacy stack, the backend in general, the legacy backend stack is built on top of relational databases and prefix-dated schemas and hard-coded relations between these. And they are not capable of building or enable us to build those softwares that are more human. And that's why we started redefining the architect and building the stack, the new stack, the backend stack on top of something we introduce as knowledge base rather than a database. I'm not going to go into the details, but that's what Unbody is. For today, what I'm going to do, and I also ask for permission, what's happening? Okay, I need to quit my browser probably. And one more time. Okay, yes. And by the way, I might have my co-founders joining later for that announcement, so I'm gonna just quickly join our daily calls and share my screen. All right, we are good now. Oh, there you go. Here is Gavin. Cool. Do you see this? This is big enough, or shall I? Okay, this is good. So, I mean, we have a business. We are all developers, but we also have a business to run. So, we also dealing with those boring stuff like outreaching, etc., etc. But after a while, we noticed that our outreach campaigns are not really working. For example, targeting particular companies or the companies that we want to sell to because of our cloud version. And the email outreach doesn't work. So at some point we decided to basically talk less and show more. So we thought, what if we make something that shows every company we want to target what they can do with Unbody. So we decided to build a very quick agentic RAG Q&A bot for their website. And today I'm going to show you how did we do that and how we used different possibilities and modules of Unbody to build that, all using Unbody with zero other dependencies. To start, so for today I wanted to do the same for ML6, and I just asked for the permission, and I set up the project, and it's compiled and it's ready to use. So I feed it with ML6 website. Only 10 pages, public pages, nothing, because Unbody comes with also crawler agents and everything else that I will show you. So I can go here and say, for example, do you know what ML6 offers? So the first thing that needs to happen in agentic RAG is understanding the intention, extracting the parameters that we want to feed the RAG, because you can't just pass on the query. Then finding the relevant information and having the answer. And also, then again, follow-up questions, and as such, for example, I don't know, what industries does ML6 work here. So, etc., etc. And this is only very like a quick, shallow indexing of their website, and all we did is just feeding the website to the Unbody website agent. Now let's go back to and see how we built this. All right. Unbody usually start, in order to use Unbody, you can use the cloud version, but today I'm going to just show everything in the SDK and in the code, so programmatically. And the essence of the work here is in the project settings. So when you create a project, it's one tenant of your data. And you can basically set up text vectorizer, generative modules, re-rankers if you want to use, auto summary and auto vision, or other things. These things that start with auto, those are enhancer agents, basically. These are built in, but you can also develop your own. What they do, because Unbody take care of the entire pipeline, from data ingestions to data processing to file parsing to data enhancement, vectorization, vector DB management, generative, etc., etc. So in this case, we are setting up the skeleton of that architect. You say, okay, when it comes to vectorization, what vectorizers? When it comes to re-rankers, what module? When it comes to generative modules, which one? And besides that, you can also hook something in that we call enhancer agents. In this case, auto summary and auto vision. What they do, for example, they are defined per data type. For example, auto summary, as soon as any textual material in the pipeline, it goes and creates a summary as to it and then stores it back using the generative feedback loop in the database. And this is how we are building our knowledge. You see, we are expanding it. It's not only the web pages anymore. Or auto vision applies to visual assets. So anytime that vision, like the image is there by default, it creates a caption for it, apply the OCR to it, extract keyword to it, face recognition, etc., etc. And then we come to the more exciting part, where you can enhance more, because again, you cannot just feed the data and give the web pages and crawl them and feed them to the LLM and expect it to work, or into the vector space and expect it to work. So what I did here, first of all, I wanted to build the context for this entire app, right? So we need to understand NO6 based on the 100 pages that you crawl. So that's where you go and crawl them all and put together. To do that, we define enhancer pipelines. And by enhancer pipeline, every pipeline can receive an action on a step. In this case, I want to do the summarizer. So I want to basically summarize the entire pages recursively, right? And this basically does it for me. So I say, go ahead and grab every text in every page that is extracted by the web crawler. Basically, and by the way, before that, how did I do the web crawler? Here, boom, 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 boom. Entry point, where am I? Project, cache. Oh, here. So basically, I create a project, so I create a source of data, and the type of it is web crawler, and I give it a site name, and that's it. The rest is automated. And also then I specify basically the entry point should be the URL of the particular website, to what maximum depth you want to go, how many pages, should the JS be enabled or not. And then basically Unbody starts crawling them and then applying these enhancers in between in the pipeline. So what this does basically, it goes and try to extract this particular information from all these pages combined, because you want to know the company overview, services that they offer, what type of clients they want to use, team and leadership, etc., etc. So every single of these become basically extracted, and then it has an output, X summary by X, because everything that you do with custom enhancement, it overrides the basic native schema. So we started with X. And then another step, which is extract the particular JSON, because we don't want to just model every time through something else or generate some random text for us. So we want it to be hard-coded, like exact information that we're going to extract. And for that, you can use Zada schema or other type of type-safe schema definitions. So here I define, okay, for this, go ahead and extract FAQ, which is an object array of objects, including the question and answer. It's nullable by default, and you describe it also as a prompt. And basically, this is how we create that knowledge base and extract the relevant information. That was on the app level, but we need to also extract some particular or enrich each page as well. Therefore, I have another enrichment here, which is page enhancement pipeline. And this does a bit more. For this, I use a structure generator, which is it generates basically the schema, the JSON type that you need to use. And again, for the same thing, I'm extracting only the category. I wanted to know each page what type of a category it belongs to, and the categories can also be feeded as an enum, and so on. So this is the whole data setup at the end of the day. So you set this up, you trigger it. Another thing that I wanted to show you, and it's really cool, is the query parser agent. So we have this tooling. When you are building a RAG, the first thing you need to do is to understand what user says, right? So for that, Unbody, basically we have this function utility parser, parse query. It's pretty easy. What it does, basically it receives the raw query of the user. You define a schema, what type of things should be extracted from that. For example, here I wanted to extract if the user mentioned the name of the client, if they mention the name of an industry. But in general, the query parser also returns these sort of things as well. A schema, concept, intent, and is relevant or not. So these are by default, you can override it, but it kind of try to predict what user said. Anyhow, so once I have that, so now I can also give it a guide that you define the role of the agent and what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to extract the meaning from the queries of the query of the user and so on. So that's the first thing that happens, understanding, and after that the retrieval happens, and after that the generation happens, and that's pretty much a RAG. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep it at this point, and I hope you liked it. Shall we? Do you want to do a FAQ or?
You want people to ask questions?
Oh no, we can do it later.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let me see if my co-founders are here for the big announcement.
Grab it.
They're not here.
They leave you to it.
I'm trying to be polite. We give them 1 minute, huh? I can answer 1 or 2 questions if there are any. Yes.
As I understand, your product have to use a lot of, I would say, cache. I mean, for every chat, for instance, you have thousands active chats. For every of the chats, you have to store this data for a while.
You do that on a client side. We don't do it.
Oh,
we only store the knowledge base.
This database on the client side?
No, the database is there, but for a chat, it's a runtime chat. So you can store it in the local, for example, if you are building a web app, it can be
I
local.
mean this agentic behavior that creates their RAG database and other stuff. Actually, as I understand, you have to store it on the server side.
The knowledge, yes.
And it takes some space.
Yes.
I would say. And how much space it takes usually for every chat?
Again, it's not about the chat, it's about the knowledge space, and that's about the amount of data that you have. The chat is an interaction.
I mean, for example, user asks about one company or something like that.
We don't need to store that data, we don't do it actually. So you basically create a cache in memory on your client and you manage the state of the history. It's not like it's not like ChatGPT that they store the data.
Okay, so
maybe in our roadmap we do have a in-cache memory like for chat, but we don't offer it at the moment.
So for every new request, you do the same stuff every time?
Yes, you could say so. You have one persistent memory, and that's your knowledge base, which is on your database. That's where you basically retrieve the relevant information.
Yeah, it seems like compute heavy, very compute heavy. But this is one of the ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have these enrichment pipelines, so I guess already if you have a bigger website, you probably speak about 10,000 pages, and I'm sure you have cases where you have 100 million items. How do you handle this when users, they run for the pipeline and do all the enrichment, which I guess takes a while, and then they want to change again the word and again and again and again, right? Which I think is pretty expensive, also takes a long time. How do you handle that?
You mean in our cloud version? How do we handle it?
Yeah.
We have a service-based architecture on Kubernetes, and it's resource-based, so you basically queue things, and if you are asking for a particular technology, what is being used?
No, sorry, that's not my question. My question is more, I just make guesses here from the prompts you showed, right? If you apply this to every data point that you're trying to enhance, right? If you do this over 100,000, I guess one run probably costs a couple of $100. And probably takes an hour or longer.
Yeah.
And the question was what kind of techniques are you using that people can actually iteratively figure out what are the prompts they want to have for their data?
Oh, they need to limit the scope of data until they find the best, basically, recipe. So you're never gonna, for the first run, apply the agent to 100,000, right? You just select the sample data, 10, 20, you figure out, and then after that you keep it, you basically start it.
Do you help them with this? Because
we usually do. If for our enterprise clients, yes, we do. We do help them with basically very detailed guidance or support system. But we also, on the documentation, we have a lot of recipes, especially when it comes to prompt engineering, but also other types. So we try our best to give that support. No worries. Great. All right. Great. Oh, sorry. Guys, could you turn on your camera so we can see you too, and then we do it. So today, okay, well, we are gonna make Unbody open source. That's the news. It's been really a tough year. We are completely bootstrapped, and it's been only 2 of us, and Gabor recently joined us, 3 of us. It's been tough, but it's been fun as well. And we always have this thinking that we shouldn't and we cannot do this alone or in isolation, because when you're building a development tool, there is no other way than making it open source. So everyone asks me why open source. I ask, what's the reason to not make it open source? And I believe, and I guess I share this with you all, that open source is the future. Data is about AI is about data, and data is the representation of humans and us. So it's the most close representation of us. It's very private, and in that sense, the future is only about local development and privacy friendly and transparency. For the exact same reason, we are releasing today alpha, the first version of Unbody. A lot of bugs expected, a lot of patching works, and we just released it because we didn't want to just keep building without getting feedback. So the main purpose of releasing alpha is to get feedback, to understand what is needed. We didn't want to build something that people don't want. We had some assumption, hypothesis. We have evaluated them throughout the last year with the clients, but I think the community is different, and that's why we are making it open source. Thank you, Gabor and Hussein, for the great job as well. So what I'm going to do, this is private, and we are going to all right, we'll go to the center.
What's the license of?
Apache 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's real open source. Okay.
Press the big red button. You are teasing us.
Okay, no, wait, it takes time. Shall we? Okay, we can count now.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Go!
Are you sure? 2, 1.
Go! Sorry, I need my phone.
Are you really sure? Maybe we can
Okay, I need to check guys. This is going to be safe, right? I can just type in while share screening.
Yeah.
I'm asking my co-founder.
What's the worst thing you can worry about?
What do you say, Gabor, again?
Consensus.
Okay, then let's do it. Okay, now I need to find my GitHub.
GitHub doesn't want you to open source.
Why do I have 3 GitHubs? I don't get it.
more than
Five,
barrier.
five, seven. No, you can hack us. Did we do it?
It is. No, now you have.
Yeah! I need the plus again because we didn't feel
Yeah,
it.
now
Okay,
do like
are we-
it just happened now.
Okay, it did happen. Are we? All right. Thank you very much, guys. So I would love to have, not me, but the whole team, we would love to have your support. And give it a try, get on our Discord. If any questions or feedbacks are very welcome. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't accept contributions yet because we need to figure things out. But we'd love to have your feedbacks and thoughts. So please feel free to share. And if you think this is really cool and you are aligned with our vision, give it a star too. That will help a lot. And thank you so much. Bye guys. I'm gonna
Bye.